What's up everybody, Coach Milfs here, coming at you with a brand new Overwatch video. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down the currently rank 1 player in the world on ladder, in none other than Houston Outlaws Danteh and his insane Ana gameplay. I mean, it is absolutely incredible, as you saw from the first clip, and there's plenty more where that came from. This guy manages to get so much consistent value and actually just legitimately hard carries this entire game. So we're going to jump all into that so you know how to do that as well. But go to the GameLeap website if you want in-depth VOD reviews over any character in the entire game, advanced tips and tricks, and much more. Do yourself a favor and go check it out right now, and I can't wait to see you there. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. Now, right off the bat, I really want you to notice something about Danteh's default Ana playstyle. When the enemy is not engaging or actively doing lots of damage to his front line, he is looking for opportunities to damage enemies and get a play off. And this really touches on something that I talk about in a lot of other videos about APM, or actions per minute, and this is exactly what I'm referring to. Danteh is not only healing his team when he needs to, but he's looking for opportunities as well to put in sizable damage, and he's doing just more than the average Ana would be doing because he has a very high APM, and it's something that you should be thinking about if you want to improve your impact on not just Ana, but any hero in the entire game. Now, as the enemy monkey engages, he swaps targets to his tanks and keeps them topped up, but after the enemy disengages, he goes back to look for more opportunities for damage and impact with his abilities. Now notice how after the pressure and the immediate threat is off from his team, he looks for an opportunity and hits a 2-man nade on the enemy supports, and that is the catalyst for winning that team fight. Here's the big takeaway for you. Always find avenues in between doing your primary job, which your primary job of course is keeping your team healed, and find avenues to do more than that, which would be like doing damage or getting a nade play, which is what he did here, and it actually won him the team fight. Now, just to reiterate a point I made in a previous video, at this point in the game, Danteh has bronze, heals, and silver damage, but he 100% carried that fight, so it's one of those many examples where medals don't always tell the full story. You could identify, hey, he has bronze heals as a healer, he's obviously throwing, but no, he actually carried that fight and did everything he needed to and more in the process. Now, moving on to the next engagement, I want you to really note Danteh's positioning here. He's in this high ground angle that's really strong for pressuring the enemy, and it also allows him to route above Mega Room for pressuring straight across the point. Now watch as Danteh aggressively challenges the McCree and Genji here. Now there's a few things that you need to consider here. First off, he's close to cover and he's unable to be doped by the enemy, and on top of that, he's not challenging anything that can one-tap him like a Widow, so he's a bit more aggressive than he typically would be if there was a Widow here, for example. Now you might be asking, what if he dies? Isn't he just giving the enemy an opportunity to get a kill on him? Why would I ever position that way? Well, here's the takeaway for you. Forcing enemies to respect your damage as Ana actually makes them back off, and it made him actually safer, even though you would assume that challenging those DPS would make him less safe. What I mean by that is him actually being proactive here and putting damage into the McCree and the Genji prevented them from flanking around, prevented them from routing all the way to her or getting in a better position to do damage on her or make a proactive play. Well, yes, hypothetically, just hiding and never peeking the enemy is safe in one way where you have no risk of ever, getting shot at or whatever, but that's not truly safe because you don't have control of the situation and you have no information about where enemies are or where they're routing to, and this is more of a preventative measure, but it's a really complex topic. But if you need any clarification about it, definitely let me know in the comments down below. Now, on top of that, Danteh's being proactive and building towards that nano, which can be team fight winning, especially with Bastion main on his team, who's a perfect nano target, and he nanos his Bastion and it helps his team hold on. But unfortunately, his Junkrat actually boops the monkey out of his sleep dart, so he dies, but they do manage to hold on here. Now watch as Danteh tries to re-enter this point, and notice how cool, calm, and collected Danteh is. He's almost absolutely numb to what's going on in front of him. As an ulting monkey is literally slamming him, he looks back to check on his Bastion for a chance to heal him because he knows that the Genji was flanking to try to harass his Bastion. This type of awareness is the mark of a truly great Ana. The ability to not let instant pressure that is affecting you affect your understanding of the battlefield, and it all all comes down to controlling your emotions and remaining calm, and you're going to be able to identify things on paper and strategies much more than freaking out when something's happening on your screen. Now, Danteh is going to turn, then sleep the monkey, count down his nade for the team so the team could focus fire at the same time, and then they retake point. Now, unfortunately, later on, a Nanoblade is going to take the point down and they're going to lose it. However, that was still a really good first point hold. However, they do get snowballed, which can happen easily, and we're going to flip things to attack. Now, moving on to attack, Danteh is going to take the high ground right side and instantly go on the offense, challenging the enemy McCree. Now, this once again goes back to what we were talking about before, where you can actually make it safer or create opportunity for your team by inputting damage. And if he would have gotten enough shots here, he could have maybe killed the McCree or forced him off the high ground, which is definitely extremely powerful and something that a lot of Anas don't do enough. They don't really take these long distance challenges, especially when you have farther effective range than the enemy. Like Ana has more effective range than McCree. That is definitely an engagement that you shouldn't fear. Now, notice how Danteh gets dove by the enemy monkey, and this is what you need to do if you want to hit monkey sleeps every single time. He literally connects his hitbox with the enemy monkey's hitbox so that it's 100% guaranteed sleep. You see, a lot of Anas will rush this, and you might have rushed this yourself, and you'll either miss the sleep altogether, or the enemy Winston will bubble the sleep dart, and you'll hit his shield, and thus you'll get killed because you can't stop the monkey. Now, this really touches on one of the biggest takeaways and one of the biggest things, in my personal opinion, that you need to master on Ana or a ton of characters if you really want to rank up, and it's not being afraid of using your life as a resource. If you're not 1 HP, then you can take a certain amount of damage from a diving monkey. He is not going to kill you immediately. However, if you miss a sleep dart, it doesn't matter what health total you're at. Even if you're at full health total and you miss a sleep dart, you are going to die. You need to identify, I'm going to win this win condition by sleeping the monkey, not by avoiding all damage. Because yes, if you're 1 HP, you have to hit that monkey before he even touches you because you're going to die. But that's typically not the case. What's typically the case is people freak out because they think they're going to die right away and they don't want to take any damage, so they try to rush that sleep dart when you don't have to. Let the enemy come closer. Make the win condition easier. In a similar way, it's like how it's easiest to sleep a Genji that's just dry blading when he goes in and even slashes you, because the way he positions makes it really easy for you to sleep him because he's going to be floating right in front of you. This is a concept that you have to constantly be repeating to yourself and thinking about every single time you lose a 1v1. Ask yourself, did I need to rush things that quickly? Could I have slowed things down, used my life as a resource more, and set up an easier execution on my abilities for that win condition? Now, going back on defense, the enemy team gets a couple of shots to try to attack again, and they manage to hold them off for quite a bit of time. However, Danteh does get picked off due to an insane, really quick play by the enemy Echo that was damage boosted that basically just deleted him. Now, he is coming back to spawn, and it was a hard fight because his team didn't have him anymore because he wasn't there to heal, and he ends up getting to point right when his entire team dies, and this is a nightmare scenario. I'm sure you've dealt with this before as an Ana. Now, as you saw in the clip in the beginning of the video, he absolutely clutches this, but let's break down how and some of the big things that the enemy team did wrong to allow him to basically 1v3 as an Ana. So he's gonna start this off with a nade, and he's gonna kill that Mercy first with 2 quick snipes before she runs away, and in between his shots he's gonna be crouching just to make it a little bit harder for the enemy Hanzo to headshot him. And honestly, the Mercy couldn't have done that much here. These were some insane shots and she was just made quick work of. Now, the enemy Hanzo, however, makes multiple vital mistakes when he jumps multiple times trying to challenge Danteh. And when you're jumping in the air, it makes these shots incredibly easy for Danteh to hit, which he does multiple times on that Hanzo, and he manages to get 2 kills right off the bat. Now, Derek also flies in a predictable pattern, and he gets slept and finished off, as a flying object that's going in a straight line is such an easy sleep target, and of course, Danteh's not gonna miss easy sleeps, so he gets that kill, and as his ball comes back to point, he nanos them, and the rest is history. He absolutely clutched this round, and perhaps this could have been the difference maker in the entire game, because if the enemy takes this point, they could have snowballed the second point like they already showed they did in the past, and Danteh just put a stop to that right here. Now, Ana has the high highest pick rate out of any character in the game right now. And a lot of Ana players come to me and ask me why they can't get out of this rank or this rank or this rank. Well, look in this game. Danteh, a top 500 player, absolutely carried all the other players in his game. He was a tier above. And I'm not saying that you have to be able to be as mechanically good as Danteh. No, very few people in the world are as mechanically good as Danteh. But if you incorporate some of his strategies and you start to understand, you'll start to rapidly improve and climb with ease. But we have in-depth hero guides over every single hero on the GameLeap website. So if you want to see step-by-step exactly how to perform on any hero in the game, definitely go check it out in the links down below. And if you like this video and you want to see more breakdowns of top tier players, let us know what streamer or pro you want to see, what characters you want to see, and we'll get right on it. But thank you so much for coming by. I hope you enjoyed the video. That's all we got for you today. I'm Coach Milfs, and until next time.